Okay. All right. Hello. Can everybody hear me fine? I tend to walk around a lot, so I'm a bit lost as to how to do this, so bear with me. I might walk away from the microphone, just remind me. But I'll try to stay here. So hopefully you're all learning lots of stuff and you're bringing lots of stuff back to your gyms. Did anybody go to National Congress? No? Okay. This is definitely going to be new because I presented this at National Congress. So if somebody had come who went there, I'd say it was the same thing. So today we're going to be chatting about AI. We're going to talk about a specific AI that we're seeing that's helping our clients that we've actually got running with about 30 of our clients right now. We're going to talk about that kind of deeply. We're going to talk a little bit about the other AIs that are out there. And the AI that we're going to talk about is something that we've developed that is specific for gymnastics and a little bit cheaper. AI sometimes is quite expensive right now, which I think long term won't be the way that it will be. It will become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. How many of you are using ChatGPT? Do you use it for lots of things? Okay. It's great for communication. I was just saying that I use it when I've got a nasty email that I want to send somebody and I throw it into ChatGPT and say, cut out all the nastiness, make it nice. And it makes it nice. Funny thing is, you can also say, make it sound like Snoop Dogg, and it will do that. I challenge you to try doing that. Send me an email in the style of Snoop Dogg. I'd love to see it. If you throw in numbers, if you throw spreadsheets into it, it can analyze your data. You can ask it to look at your website and say, can you please check my website and give me thoughts of how to improve it? You can ask it to do, those are just a couple of things. If you wanted to, you can ask it to build a game. It will do computer programming. It's pretty unlimited it's limited to what you can think of doing. I would ultimately say that what it is kind of like your personal researcher. I look at it as a research assistant, where I might have to go out there and do a lot of work to collate information and put things together. It does it for me, and it does it in a really neat, concise way. And I do highly recommend that you use it because it does save me a lot of time and a lot of effort. It's really good for you guys from a social media creation standpoint. It can give you ideas. It can help put it together for you. It can put a whole plan together. If your blog posting is important, it does make a big difference with SEO and all of that kind of stuff. If you've got a team member who you want to be your marketing person, highly recommend that they're using ChatGPT to create blogs, right? Whereas back in the day, if you hired our company to do your SEO when we were writing your blogs, we might say to you, we can do 3 or 4 blogs a month because it was a lot of work. There's research behind it. It needs to be accurate. We send it to you. Now we can create 30, 40 blogs a day, right? With an element of accuracy, right? So it's something that I think most gyms should be using. It always does come down to someone having to do it, though. It just allows us to do a lot more, is what I think AI is. I don't think AI will be our overlord, at least in our lifetime. I think we'll be dead by the time T3 is walking around shooting us all, right? We won't be around. I don't see that happening. I think what's going to happen is it's going to be a great tool that will allow us to expand on what we do, at least administratively, right? The non-gymnastic stuff. What I love about gymnastics as an industry is my industry, which is marketing and growing and helping gyms grow and grow their revenue. I can see where in 15, 20 years that we're going to have to adjust how we operate because you guys will be able to do a lot more stuff in-house pretty well, right? So that you're not going to need someone like us if we stay what we're doing today, because a lot of the stuff that we're doing today is becoming simpler and simpler to do, which I think is great. And we are already adjusting that stuff. For you guys, you pretty much, I think, are safe. I don't see robots and AI teaching kids gymnastics anytime soon. Again, that's going to be when Terminator's walking around and threatening us. So I don't see that happening. So I think of all the businesses that are out there, which there are many, there is going to be an industrial type revolution. There is going to be job losses. There is going to be pain. Unfortunately, it might affect some of our clients, but I do think directly the gymnastics industry, the kids activity center industry is going to be very safe. And in fact, my hope is that people are going to be more attracted to this kind of industry because they want more human interaction. They want more human contact, as technology allows us to have less human contact and less information passed between each other. That doesn't even make sense, so forget that last bit. So anyway, let's go through a little bit of what we've got going on here. So this is me. We've been serving the gymnastics industry for 8 years. We have over 100 clients currently in the gymnastics industry. Before that, we owned a gym, my wife and I, for about 14 years. So we do understand the business. It's not just some marketing guy that came up here and thought, oh, I'm going to make loads of money from the gymnastics industry. Both of those things aren't 100% true. So, the gym, I think, we managed the gym through the financial crisis. There was a lot of times when my wife and I were up at 3 a.m. in the morning talking to each other, staring at the ceiling, wondering how we're going to make payroll. It was a really rough period. It was a little bit of the germination of Creatively Disruptive. We decided when we formed the company that we don't want any small business owner, especially gymnastics gym owner, to ever feel alone. I'm not going to pretend that you guys might not stare at the ceiling at 3 a.m. even when you work with us. But the hope is that you might stare at the ceiling at 3 a.m. and go, we need to call those guys when I wake up or when I get up. And there'll be someone to help you through it. Back in my day, when I was, not coaching, but I was on the more business side of the end of our gym, there was no one. I literally had no idea what to do about some of the stuff, and it was really frightening and scary. Thankfully, we got through it all. We ended up selling the gym in 2012, I want to say. I think it was 2012, 2013. And then about a year and a half later, we formed Creatively Disruptive. And we are actually going to have our 10th year of being in business next year. So, 8 years of serving the gymnastics industry, 100 gyms. So we do know what we're talking about. And all the data and stuff that we're going to be sharing with you today is from those relationships. So it's not me coming up with anything. It's literally just what we're seeing reported. So what we're going to cover today is what is the biggest struggle we see gymnastics owners having with marketing their business. So if anybody's ever been in any of my lectures, I always try to bring something that you could hopefully take into your gym. This is very gym focused, and it's about making your gym better. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. How is AI becoming part of marketing? And with a specific slant, if I'm honest with you. If you want to have a longer, larger conversation about things that you can do with AI, I'm going to give you my cell phone number, believe it or not, and we can talk at some point. How do you use AI to amplify your business? Right? Amplify is a specific term that we use in our business. It's a method that we coined, which is basically about helping the mums that are out there that are going to be 90% of the people that are interacting with you reach out to you the way they want to reach out to you. Gone are the days that we force people to reach out to us the way we want them to. We've got to allow our mums to reach out to us the way they want to, otherwise they won't. Right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So the issue we see lots of gymnastics club owners facing is no reliable system of attracting new students. A lot of our marketing that we do, and I don't know, how many of you have seen an ad of ours? None of you? Well, look at us, we're a marketing company, and out of 100 people, 3 people have seen us before. So a lot of the advertising that we have out there is about helping gyms turn around from being unhappy, right? So you're not happy with your gym, you want it to do better, reach out to us. So a lot of the people that we're talking to are gym owners that are struggling and are just not quite getting to where they want to be. I'm sure some of you are probably doing quite well and you're quite happy with things, right? But even the ones that are doing well, even the ones that have been with us for 6 or 7 years, struggle with some of these things. Not all of them, but some of them. But one of the biggest ones, especially the new clients that we bring on board, they have no reliable system of attracting new clients. And when I say reliable, like you know that this is going to happen in June, and you can plan on it, right? And you can have some financial security as to what's going on in your business outside of some crazy thing that happens out in the world, like a world war or something. If something like that happens, who knows? But if it's pretty consistent, most of our clients, after a while, they'll have a very reliable way of knowing what's going to happen and what's going on. The other issue is no streamlined process of converting those leads. That's a big one. Even some of our current clients struggle with that. There's no, I'll use my gym as an example. When we had our gym, we would hire mums to run the front desk, and they were hired because they were nice, or they were hired because they were nice and their kid was doing team, and we did a little bit of a trade and blah blah blah. There wasn't a lot of thought about this person's interacting with our clients or our future clients. What are we going to do with that? What is the processes and the systems that they use to make sure that that mum joins? There wasn't a lot of thought going into that, and we see a lot of that in gymnastics. The front desk kind of is just there to answer the phone, and we'll see what happens, and hopefully they're good, right? So having some streamlined processes of converting any inquiry, and when I say lead, I really mean inquiry. Not enough high quality staff to rely on and help keep families staying long term. I think that's an issue that has plagued gyms for a long time. My presentation tomorrow, we're going to talk really in depth about solving that issue. Or perhaps you feel like you've built a solid foundation but cannot for the life of you figure out how to scale, right? How to take your gym from 300 kids to 600, how to take your gym with 500 kids to 1,000, how to you've been doing $500,000 a year, how do you do $1 million? Or you've been doing $1 million, how do we get to $2 million? Right? It feels stuck, and you can't figure out how to get out of that rut. These are typical things that we hear when gyms are talking to us. So many gyms fail to thrive because they rely on hope and word of mouth to scale their businesses instead of taking decisive action and adapt and grow. Okay, I'll give you one example. I was talking to a reasonably well-known gym owner in Texas. It was a social media conversation, which is probably never a great thing, never a great conversation. And they were saying, I don't need to do marketing. I have great word of mouth. I was like, okay, well, tell me how that worked. And they said, well, I started my gym in the 80s. We had 50 kids in the first year. It's now 2000, I think it was 82, it's now 2002, and we've got 700 kids. I was like, and it was all word of mouth. I was like, okay, great. And I said, okay, if we divide that by 20 and then divide that by 12, that's like 3 kids a month. That's good if you've got 20 years or 30 years to wait. How many of you want to wait 30 years for your gym to get to where you want to be, right? I want to get where I want to be tomorrow. I actually don't want to wait. I want what I want now, and I want to get there fast, right? So word of mouth is great, and it should be part of your plan, but I don't believe if you want rapid ascension that should be what you rely on, right? Especially nowadays. Like 30 years ago, there wasn't some of the things that we have nowadays. Nowadays, we can reach right into our local community, right into 80% of our mums, and tell them how great we are. But that hasn't been something. We couldn't do that when we first bought our gym in the early 2000s. Facebook wasn't around. YouTube wasn't around, right? These platforms weren't around. Google wasn't around. I think it was Netscape I used to look on the internet. So, did you know, and this is real numbers, that the search term gymnastics near me has an average monthly Google search of 246,000 across the United States. There's a funny thing that happened a couple of weeks ago called the Olympics, and that's increased by, typically that's increased by about 50%. This Olympics, we're seeing it even higher. I mean, we are expecting that number, and we're kind of waiting to the end of August, but we're thinking that number is going to be closer to 500,000, right? So I'm saying that because all of you should be on Google paid. If you're not, you're losing money. There's mums right now, today, who saw the Olympics and was like inspired by Simone Biles, and they're typing in gymnastics near me. That's not your gym, that's gymnastics near me. And Google will just throw up whatever it's got. Most of you are not competing for that, which means the one of you that does will be much more likely that you'll be the one who gets that client. So, how do you take advantage of the surge? Marketing, obviously, that's my thing, so I'm going to tell you that. But it truly is, and the beauty of it, I think, even when I was doing it back in the day, and some of you have owned gyms for a long period of time, marketing obviously has been important, but the marketing was flyers, the marketing was going to schools, doing shows, doing events and all sorts of things, right? That was the marketing. Maybe if you had a bit of dollars, you might put something on a radio station, or you might buy an ad in the paper, or blah, 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 but that was it. All of that I would never do ever again. I would put my money into where the mums are, which is in Google and social. That's where they are. So be there as well, either organically or paid. I like paid because I have control and I see the data, and I know if I spend this amount of money, I'm going to get this amount back, right? So we got Google ads, as I said. Please make sure all of you are on Google with some kind of paid budget, because you're missing out if you're not. Meta ads. No, we're not saying Twitter. We're also not saying TikTok. TikTok, you got to spend $50 a day or they won't let you on. So unless you got a $1,500 budget to spend on TikTok by itself, I wouldn't recommend it. And most gyms that we work with don't have $1,500 a month to spend on one platform, right? And I don't know if the return is as good as Meta being Instagram and Facebook, where we find most of the parents. So an effective funnel strategy to help you convert. And we're going through this just so you understand. There's a bit of a funnel where we're going to get into AI. You're probably thinking, what's this to do with AI? But we're going to get there. So how? So first, let's just explain Google. So we've got Google, cross-platform marketing. When you do Google ads, your ads are going to turn up in people's Gmail. Like there's Gmail stuff. There's going to be different websites that you're going to turn up on. You're going to turn up all over the place. Basically, Google is going to try to track that mum down and make sure your message is there all the time so she gets to you, right? Intent focused. If she types gymnastics near me, that's a pretty good sign that she's looking for gymnastics. Where is she looking for it? Near her, which could be you, right? So, it's intent focus. It's quite likely that she might spend some money. Increase web traffic. We want people going to our website, and that, just an aside, because this isn't this presentation, but please make sure your website's looking amazing and is super easy to use. Many of you don't have good websites. Many of them are not good and easy to use. So please do some research. Please just reach out to me. I'll be happy just to tell you what you need at minimum on your website to get conversions. But make sure your website is good, okay? Especially if you're spending Google ads, because people are going to go to it. Increase phone calls, emails, and actually text messages. Because with those ads, you can push a button and text. I can text the gym from the Google ad and reach out to the gym, right? I can push a button and it will call. I can push a button and it will email. So it's not just going to send people to my website, it's going to allow me to communicate directly. So, which is great. Meta ads, build social connections, build branding. The branding part, I always say when we have clients, they come in, If we lose them, they're usually in the first 3 months because they get all nervous, and that's usually when problems occur, where Meta closes them down because 3 months before they started working with us, they put up some Taylor Swift songs on some routine or something that they thought was funny, and then Meta's flagged them in the background. They don't even know that they've been flagged, and then they spend money on Meta, and then Fred shuts them down. They say these guys could end up doing things that we don't like, and then we've got to unwind that and blah blah blah. And that kind of stuff can happen at the beginning, especially when you're starting to pay money to the platforms. Outside of the first 3 months, usually by the 6th month, if you're doing really good with your Facebook and Meta ads, that's when all of the mums start realizing, oh, your gym's there. I didn't know you had one. I didn't know we had one in our community, sorry. I didn't know we had one in this community. This seems really good. I've seen lots about it. I want to do it. And more so, what even happens after about 9 months is we start hearing reports of mums coming into gyms and saying, I don't know how I heard it from you, but my friend said that you guys are great. And they probably heard it from seeing messages over and over and over again, right? Our average gym has about 50,000 impressions a month. Right? So that's 50,000 times that their message is served up to an audience, which oftentimes is about 12,000. Right? So you're looking at maybe 5 times every single month a mum is seeing your message. You times that by 9 months, that's when it starts really sinking in that, hey, you guys are the option. So when I want to get my kid off of PlayStation and get them into some kind of activity, you guys are the first thought, not soccer. Right? I, as the marketing guy, I want you to compete against soccer. I'm not really, I mean, you'll compete against each other, but I want kids who are looking to get involved to be involved in gymnastics. Specific demographic targeting. Meta is the best at it. We can build targeting where only the mums see your message, right? And about 85% of them are on Instagram and Facebook. Right, at least once or twice a week, usually much, much more. Increased inquiries, you will get more inquiries. Now you might see the differentiation between the word lead and inquiries. Inquiry meaning messages, direct messages, Instagram, Facebook, walk-ins, phone calls, those are all inquiries, right? And way more creative freedom. We can do all sorts of things, videos and stuff, things that you can't do with Google, right? Did you know that 83% of parents would rather communicate with your gym through text than anything else? Does that surprise you? No? Why is that? Is that because you use text? Yeah. We did a study just before the pandemic. Based on leads, and we actually think this number is way higher because we need to redo this study after the pandemic because technology has moved. But what we found was that 83% of parents would rather text than anything else, and it was about 95 if you're a millennial, and it was almost 100% if you're Gen Z, right? Gen Z, I think, is 29 now, 29. So that was a young mum back then. It was like five years ago. But we're looking, Gen Zs, which are becoming the larger group of our mum base, they use email pretty much to sign up to social media platforms and buy stuff online. They don't really use it to message each other and communicate, right? So if you're relying on emails, you're probably missing something. And the text message follow-up, okay, yes. So following up using text messages gets 112% higher engagement rate than phone calls and emails. That doesn't mean I don't want you to do phone calls and emails. We actually specifically tell everybody to do it all, but you will get more from that. Now, if you respond within 5 minutes of somebody reaching out to you, you've got basically a 400% more chance of them responding. The problem is this: a lot of leads, a lot of inquiries come through on the weekend. A lot of them come through at 9 o'clock at night. A lot of them come through when the gym's closed, right? That mum is thinking, God, I just put the kids to bed. I'm sick of them. I need to tire them out more. I need to get them in something. This is, and she's there, and she sees your ad, or she's typed in gymnastics near me, whatever it is. That inquiry comes in, usually at a time that's not perfectly convenient for your mum that you've got sitting at the front desk to answer and respond, right? So if you can respond within 5 minutes, and why do you think that is? Because they're in that moment, right? They're thinking, I want to find out information now. And if you respond, they'll respond. So take that into account. That's a hard one to think about how to respond, but that's why we're going to talk about AI. So here, this is where the AI comes in. So we looked out, this is kind of how this journey started. One of the biggest issues that we have pretty much across all 100 of our clients is the fact that they don't follow up very well. Follow-up is terrible, right? And we're constantly having conversations with our clients that, hey, you've got 38 inquiries this month, but you only brought in 6 people. What have you been doing with all those inquiries? Well, or this one didn't answer, and this one, and we find out that it's, hey, maybe they reached out 2 days later, and then they reached out like 5 days later after that, and then they gave up. There's no process, there's no system, there's no relentless nature to the follow-up which you have to do. And think about what you do when you reach out to a business. Right? How often, and I do this all the time, but how often do we show an interest in a business and we go, I'm interested, and then we don't respond? We don't. And I know you're lying if anyone says, I respond. No, we don't. We don't respond. My dogs have made my backyard smell because I'm in Arizona and we've got artificial grass, and those guys have turned my artificial grass into their toilet, right? I want that thing clean because I've been cleaning it and doing it, and it's like so hard, especially when it's 113 degrees outside, and I want this thing clean. So I reached out to this company that cleans artificial grass, especially with stuff. And I've been like, I need this, I need this. That was like 6 weeks ago. I still haven't responded to them. They're trying to reach out to me all the time. I'm useless. That is what we're dealing with. So if we're not relentless, you're not getting them. Because I want this backyard cleaned. Right? So we developed Kai. We were looking for this issue, and basically where Kai came from was we were looking at lots of different options that were out there that we could connect in between, like as the inquiries come through. There was lots of options out there, AI options, to respond to leads, right? And there are others out there. There's lots. So don't just because this is ours, don't think that this is the only thing. There is a lot. The problem that we had was many of them started at like $2,500 a month, because what they realize is that it's replacing an employee full time. Was there a riot out there or something? What's going on?
There's like a music class.
Okay. So, I don't know, do you want to shut the door? So a lot of these AIs out there that are they're quite good, and we were quite excited about some of them, but at $2,500 a month, it just seemed a little bit more. I would rather you guys using that money to spend on Google and Facebook and all of those things, and actually indoctrinate the... Well, okay, this is great. And I don't know if I can get through this. So we were like, okay, we need something that's a little bit more affordable, but kind of works the same way in the realm of what we do. Tell them off. Is that the staff? Wow. Okay. Okay. That was the staff of the. That's amazing. That's awesome. They're very happy. So basically what we have is an AI front desk team member that's been... Oh, they're on strike? And they're walking through the whole place. That's great. Okay, well, hey, good on them. See what happens. So with that, we'll try to get through this. So basically what we did was we looked at how it all worked. We went through a whole bunch of looking at what kind of stuff was out there for you guys. And quite frankly, we decided that it was just too expensive for most gyms' budget and it just didn't make any sense. The reason why they charge so much is, as I said, they're looking at it as it's replacing an employee and it's working full time and it's doing a critical role. Most of them are built for any company that's doing follow-up like real estate agents and blah, 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 right? So we were like, how do we build one that's specifically for gyms and is a little bit cheaper? So we use a lot of the same programming and so forth. We were able to put this together and it's specifically for gymnastics clubs and as a front desk person. What it's specifically for is to take an inquiry to somebody who walks through the door, right? So it reaches out and it books somebody to come in and meet with you and look at your gym. That's what it's specifically for. It's not there to really answer lots of different questions. Its job is to get somebody to come into the gym. It combines the best tools to handle all of your incoming inquiries that isn't a phone call, right? So a phone call it's not going to answer. There are some that are. I looked at one AI that actually will answer the phone and have a conversation with yours, but it was $100,000. And I thought that was a little bit too expensive. The idea is that it turns them into a booking for a free trial or a gym tour, right? What we've actually taken away the gym, it's whatever you want it to be. The idea is that the mum emails, texts, messages, whatever it does, it has a conversation with her, finds out what she's interested in, then it says, hey, why don't you come in on Thursday at 3 o'clock? And we'll show you around and you can sign up. It's like having an extra team member that saves you time. This feels a bit addy here. Time, it cuts costs and everything. It boosts revenue by improving conversions, which is really, really important. I want you guys to be really, really aggressive with your marketing and feel confident to spend money on Google and Facebook and actually have a high conversion rate, because the higher your conversion rate, the more money you're willing to spend, which means we can indoctrinate those mums into thinking you're the best thing since sliced bread, because you are, they just don't know it yet. So here's the features. So smart inquiring handling, quickly manages all inquiries, giving parents instant answers as soon as they reach out. So we were talking about 5 minutes. This will, like if you texted it, it would respond. Usually the longest wait that you might have is 30 seconds if it's having to process something. The AI appointment setting reduces the need for you to manually manage inquiries by automatically qualifying them and booking them into free trials. It'll ask them, how old's your child? What classes is it interested in? It will handle all sorts of crazy questions. I've thrown all sorts of weird stuff at it and it handles it. If it doesn't know, it says, hey, I don't know, but I can have someone call you. Would you like that? Right? And then they'll say, yes, I'd love that. Okay, I'll have someone call you at 9 o'clock tomorrow. So it's like, talking to somebody. It won't tell them that it's not talking to somebody, but if it asks, is this AI? It'll say, yeah, I'm AI. All-in-one communication. So it talks to parents via email, text messaging, WhatsApp, Instagram, Messenger, and web chat, meaning on your website, if you go to creativelydisruptive.com, you'll see a little speech bubble. You can actually have a conversation with it, and it'll chat with you, and it will book you in for a time. Yes?
Does this integrate with like Jackrabbit to do that?
Jackrabbit's just allowed Zapier to zap in. We're working through that right now. There's lots of things that Jackrabbit legitimately is trying to protect from you guys, so we need to work through that. One of the things that we don't want to throw out there, because we see the conversion rates drop really low, is to just push people into signing up onto Jackrabbit, because what we find is parents don't. Right? So if you tell people, and Jackrabbit and iClass Pro probably hates me saying this, and they know that I say it because I say it all the time, is if you're forcing parents, again, remember I said to you about the Amplify method is having parents interact with you the way they want to. If you start forcing them into a direction, you're going to lose some. And what we find is if you just get them in your gym, you're going to convert 80% of them. right? So if you get, if you get 100 inquiries in a month and you get 50 of them turn up in your gym, you're going to have 40 new clients. If you get those 100 inquiries in a month and you try to force them into Jackrabbit, it'll drop down to like 5 to 10. Mainly because it's just, a lot of times at that, it's like, this might sound crass, but it's like dating, right? And you got first base, second base, third base, and home base. So do you want to go straight to home base, or are we going to have a conversation first at first base? That's what we need to take them through. Because Jackrabbit's saying, hey, you've only known about us for about 5 minutes. Can I have your address, your phone number, your email address? Can I have all of your kids' names and their ages? Can I have a credit card info? So, well, it's a little bit early. We haven't even had the coffee yet. So, we need to just play with it. And that's what the AA allows you to do.
And I think you said we're such a personal-based industry anyway.
Yeah.
That if you train, like our front office is, we greet all our customers, but we've set up a pretty good path of, making sure that they feel welcome and giving them the best hospitality service.
Yeah.
And by the time that you do get them through that door, every time we'll sit them there and say it's going to take us 10 minutes to get your profile set. And
what we're seeing our most successful gyms do is they are setting up a period, maybe it's between 3 and 6 o'clock, for 15-minute introductions with parents. So between 3 and 6 o'clock, let's say 3 hours, we got 12 spots a day that we can have conversation, that a parent will come through, and there's 15 minutes that the front desk can spend with them and answer all their questions and show them. 15 minutes is oftentimes enough, right? 12 a day. Could you imagine if you have 12 parents every single day coming in and looking at your gym, how quickly things can move, right? And if you've got multiple people at the front desk, maybe you could do 24.
Like you have parents sign up for these spots to come in?
Yeah. And typically we advise using Google Calendar. Yep.
I was going to say, we use the appointments feature on our iClass, and we do inquiry appointments with our enrollment specialists. And they come in and they have 15 to 30 minutes to get signed up.
And the reason why we use Google Calendar and not the management systems is the management systems want more information. Google Calendar, we can just connect it to this and it will just ask some questions and it just populates it and sends it off to the parent. And it just, you go in on Monday morning and there's 12 parents booked at certain times when they're coming in to visit you for you to sell them on coming into your gym. And that's the idea. So automated follow-up, it increases conversions by following up automatically. So let's say a parent doesn't come in. You can just go into the system and say, they didn't come in, and it will start reaching out to them. Say, hey, you missed the appointment. Can we reschedule you? Yep.
I was going to say, is there any kind of reminder for them to
Yep.
get before the appointment?
Yep. So let's say they reach out on a Saturday and they book on a Wednesday. It'll reach out over those days and say, hey, here's a couple. Just to remember, you're booked at 4:15 on Wednesday. We're looking forward to seeing you. See you then. And then it will follow up if they don't turn up, if you check it off to say they didn't come in. Easy scheduling, like we said, we think that's going to evolve, with the different things that are out there. My hope is that the Jackrabbits and the iClass Pro will soften their stance of getting every single piece of data from the customer beforehand, because that'll be useful for you. Outside of that, Google Calendar. Right? Most people have it. It goes right on phones. You guys can utilize it. It's pretty simple. Because remember, all we're talking about is getting a mum into the gym. We know you guys are amazing because we know our data says that 80% of every parent that comes through the door of the parents that come through the door, you close. Your close rate is through the roof when the parent sees your location. The trick is getting them from I'm interested to coming through the door, right? And a lot of times where it falls apart is the front desk is not doing what you were talking about. They're not calling to say, just to remind you you're coming in. They're not calling, texting, and emailing every single day, which you need to do if you want me to get my backyard cleaned. Because they're still doing it. Like every day I get a thing and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do that. Oh, and then I get distracted. That's life. We've got to get on top of that. There's money there, right? And we just got to get on top of it. What I love about it, which is not the sexy part of it, is the inquiry tracking. So what's cool about this is that the back end of the system, when you log in, you can actually see, and any data that it shares with you, it puts into we call it the inquiry management system. So think of it, no gym that I know of has a iClass Pro Jackrabbit level system of how to manage people that aren't customers. Right? How many people do you guys interact with that have a little bit of an interest in you but aren't customers? Right? Unless they became a customer and left, because obviously that information might still be in iClass Pro. But there's 2.7 million babies born in the United States every year. So how many of them are you having come in? And this is a great system that allow you to manage that. Does email marketing, does text message marketing, does the whole 9 yards, right? What I love about it though is if the AI has a conversation, all of the conversations, wherever it came from, will be put into that one profile that gets made. If we don't have the mum's name, we'll know that, hey, this profile is from Mummy RN at Instagram, because that was her call sign or whatever, right? She's a registered nurse maybe, and blah, blah, blah. So, and she had these conversations. In fact, she showed enough interest that she ended up texting us, and we have her phone number too. We don't know her name yet, but we know that her Instagram handle is this, and we know that her phone number is this. And here's all the conversations on those different platforms. So when your front desk comes in, because she's booked in to come and see you at 4:15 on Wednesday, your front desk can look through and go, okay, she spoke about this, she spoke about that, she's interested in this, she's interested in that. So when she comes through, you can delight her. And what I want you guys to do is not make people happy. Who cares about being happy? I want to be delighted, right? Don't you want to be delighted? Because if I made you guys happy today, you walk out and smile and go and have a cup of coffee and go on your way. But if I delight you, you're going to walk out the door and tell someone about it. And that's what we want, right? The AI knows your business. How does it know? Basically, we plug it into your website. Everything that's on your website, it will know. So it basically uses your website as its database. If you want it to know more things that aren't on your website, we can upload a PDF into it, and then it knows that. Right? It's very specific because we don't want it to be ChatGPT and get distracted. Its role is to get mums from an inquiry through the door. We want it to be very specific.
Does it update if you update your website?
Yep. It just searches through your website. Every time it makes any time, because it's not a person, it's not really learning anything, it's a program, right? So whenever you ask a question, it just goes through the website and goes, okay, where's the answer? Here's the answer, and it brings the answer to the customer. So anytime you update it, it just will search for it, and that update it will find.
So for like the follow-up emails that it would do, like the automated follow-up emails that it would do, would that be something you would have to like craft and input yourself, or is there something that it just automatically pulls info from and sends out?
Yes, this won't do that. It won't craft. Well, actually, sorry. It depends on what. If you're doing an email marketing campaign, then you would craft that, and I would use ChatGPT to help do that. If it's emailing, it could actually have an email conversation where it will email backwards and forwards, and it will talk like it does in everything else. And what it's trying to do is get you to come in. So we'll have so to give you an example, we're going to get there. Let me just run through this real quick. Centralized messaging, meaning all of the conversations are in one place, so you can see what's going on. And we'll show you real quickly how it works. So Becky Smith is the mom. She reaches out. Hi Kai is not actually typically how it goes, but we use that as a prompt for the demo. And that says, let me click play here so you can see how it works. This is an example of it. So it's reached out to Becky and said, I saw you responded on Facebook post about booking a tour of the gym. How old is your child? 7. So now it knows it's 7 and it's actually put that in its system. Great. Would you like to book a tour of the gym for your daughter? And how does it know that it's a daughter? Because she hasn't said it's my daughter. It saw the word she and knows that usually that's a daughter. So she's asked, do you have beginner gymnastics? Yes, we do, a recreational program, and it's pulling that data from the website. Would you like to book a tour and see? So it's always going to come back to booking the tour because we want that. But it will answer all the questions. Then it asks, that would be great. It gives them some options. Becky then responds with yes, Tuesday at this time. And the system will automatically start putting together the invite, putting it into Google Calendar and sending it out. It will ask for more information if it needs it. And it will put it in, then it will send all the information. This is a very simplified version. I'm actually going to give you a cell phone number if you want to try it. It's basically Becky's Gymnastics, which I don't know, my business partner Russell has this avatar that he thinks is amazing called Becky Smith. So it's a marketing avatar. And he's like, oh, Becky now owns a gymnastics gym. And I'll give you the website as well. And you can go to it and have a conversation with it and see how it works, right? But it's going to talk to you like you're a gym mum looking to join a gym. So give you a sense of how it works. That's a very simplified version, but that's basically what it does 24/7, right? And it will do it on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, text message, and email.
There's no intervention here though, like you can't jump into that tech
Yes.
to a person.
Yep.
You can't.
Yep. So if your front desk is there and the parent's asking kind of weird questions, you can jump in and you can see it.
On the computer, like
Yep.
a program or something.
Yep, you log into it. We call it the IMS, which is the back end of it. And you can actually get in and just jump right in and start talking. And when you start talking, it kind of stops the AI and you can have a conversation. And that's why it will say, if the parent is really wanting some information that it can't answer, it'll say, hey, let me get you somebody. And then it flags that.
What if a customer starts doing it and realizes, I don't really want to do this? Can they stop, or how do they?
Yeah, I mean, if the system gets their phone number and their email address, it will reach out and say, hey, Becky, you were showing interest, do you want to come back in? They can opt out and say, I don't want to do it, take me out, and it will take them out. But yeah, as soon as they stop, it will just end the discussion. But then as a marketing company, what I want that to start following up, because it could have been that Becky was getting ready to do it and then the baby started crying and had to run away, and that's typically why people lose interest. It's not because they lose interest in gymnastics. They lose interest because, they didn't lose interest, they got distracted, right? I want my backyard clean.
Right.
I'm getting distracted by coming and talking to you guys.
So then with this, if the conversation just kind of stopped because of the baby, would the conversation start up again the next day, or would we
Yeah.
have to initiate reaching out again, or?
No, it will reach, if it has the data, if it has the phone number or the email address or whatever it is, it will reach out and say, hey, just wanted to follow up to see if you're still interested, blah, 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 right? And it can follow up whatever way you want, however, way your gym's culture is or whatever, right? It can use the language that you want it to use. It can actually speak lots of different languages too. We've got, when we were in National Congress, there was a Swedish gentleman who came in because they had a whole bunch of Swedish kids come over and doing Swedish gymnastics, I guess, which is team gymnastics, I guess. And he was like, oh yeah, this would be great. Does it speak Norwegian and Swedish? And I was like, I don't know. And we found out that, yeah, it does. It does. It will speak whatever language needs to be spoken. We do have to set it, but it will speak that. Do you?
I have two questions. One, a follow-up to that one. Can you manually program the first response that goes back out, like, we're sorry we weren't able to complete our phone conversation of yesterday evening.
You can ask it to respond in a certain flavor, but it is an AI. So the idea is that it's not programmed. It's not a bot.
Okay.
It's not. I almost said it's thinking. It's not a thinking thing, but it's programmed to just have a conversation, and it will just say, "Hey, you reached out. We'd love to chat with you." We typically try to set it up in a way that we know, based on the 30 other gyms that we've got, what is the best response for you?
Okay, question number 2. How do you control for proper grammar and syntax and spelling? Because the first thing that came up on that was a grammatical error.
Which one was that?
That text exchange with Becky.
Was it a spelling error?
No, it was a grammatical error. It was a comma
Okay.
when it should have been a period, and then the next word should have been capitalized, and it wasn't. And my mom's an English teacher. It makes me miserable.
That's terrible.
Just saying.
I don't know, I'll find out. But this is what I would say to that. If you were texting me, expect to get a whole bunch of grammatical errors and capital stuff. So, not that that's an excuse. The idea is that they don't feel that this is some rigid robot. However, I think there's probably a way for us to make sure that that is fixed, right? This is based on a language model, so it should be pretty good most of the time. But that's a good thing for us to look into. However, as a gym owner, I'd be less worried about that as much as what the results are. And I know 100% if you had your front desk texting back live to people that there will be grammatical errors and issues with the spelling. Saying that, this should be pretty clean. I'm not giving it an excuse.
Just curious with the different languages, does it then, on the back end for you, can you get it to translate it back to English?
So you're thinking, like if they're speaking Spanish and...
Or, like we have a lot of Russian clients, so
Okay.
if it's speaking Russian, none of my office
That's
staff
not a
speaks
question.
Russian.
That's not a question that I've had. What I would do though is I would just copy and paste it in and see it. I can find out about that. I don't think it's going to auto-translate if I was to answer you right now.
Okay.
But that's
So I
something
was
that
like,
couldn't
if,
be.
If like my office staff was looking and they're watching the conversation go through my office staff's gonna be like, I don't even know what AI is talking to
Right.
them about right now. Because
So, I mean,
like,
the language difference that we have one client that is in an area that's really heavily Spanish and lots of Spanish-speaking people, but they also have Spanish-speaking staff. So that hasn't been a question that we've had. From a translation standpoint, that's something I could find out for you. I personally would, if I really needed to do it and I didn't speak it, I would
We
I
can
would
just
do
wait
it.
till the conversation's over and copy it out of the back end.
Yeah, you can
and
do
then-
that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So what I want to just give you here is 3 ways that we can help you. So if any of you are not in the gymnastics marketing, it's a business and marketing group, do that. There's loads of discussions going in there all the time. It's free, right? That's on Facebook. That'll allow you to ask questions. There's a lot of business owners and managers in there, gymnastics. Please join that. So there's so you can be part of the conversation. If you're trying to do something or you've got a question, ask it. I've got 20 staff members. They're all in there, and if they see it, they will flag one of us who might be able to answer it, or they'll answer it, so you can get some answers. The other thing is we have the Gymnastics Revenue Toolbox, which we're going to give to you guys for free through to the end of the year. That's a full marketing course that we use to train our staff. So you'll have access to that. I'll show you that in a second. And the other part of it, if you really want, you can hire us and we'll do everything for you. But this here is the ultimate guide for marketing for gymnastics owners. If you want to scan that, you can download that. It's a PDF. It will give you a real overview of the Amplify method, which is getting parents to respond to you the way that they're most comfortable, right? This one here, there's my phone number. That's my real phone number. So don't send me weird stuff. But if you want to talk to me, I don't have a booth. It's the first time ever I decided to not have a booth because I've been getting lots of people who wanted to chat with me. If you want to chat with me when we're here, I'm happy to just sit down with you. I'm not going to sell you on anything. I will just talk to you about whatever it is that you want to talk about, and we can go through it. So if that's important, text me, and we'll sit and have a beer or a coffee or whatever you want to do. Please download this. Oh, no, if you want consulting, if you want that, do that. What I really want you to download is this. So this is giving you free access to the toolbox through December, I think, the end of December. That should be long enough for you to really understand how Google works. and be able to run some Google ads, it should be good enough for you to be able to learn how to do all these things that we do, and 4 months is long enough for you to do it. What we see is you guys get busy and you don't do it. So important to do it, okay? And this is free for 4 months, right? So reach out to that. It'll basically ask you to talk to Jamie, and Jamie will give you a code, because we've got to create a new code for you each time. Otherwise, everybody would have the same code, and that wouldn't work. And then lastly, that's it. So any questions? This is what I feel, guys, is this is the last piece of the puzzle that always really frustrated me and was stressful. Was we can build great ads, we can excite your community, we can get mums really excited about you guys. Why? Because you guys are doing amazing things that mums are looking for, right? You guys do great stuff. They inquire, and then it kind of drops into a hole, right? I mean, you've got probably great staff, but are they calling, texting, and emailing every day for as long as it takes for that mum to come through the door? Relentlessly. Nicely, but relentlessly. Probably not. I'm guessing many times we hear, well, we text them back and they didn't respond, so they mustn't be interested. Well, what if they were checking out at Costco? What if they were rescuing the 2-year-old from the kitty litter? You know, what if a bazillion reasons why we all get distracted with stuff, right? This takes it out of the hands. And more importantly to me, that mum at 9 o'clock at night that's really interested in your business that no one is going to respond to, they'll get a response within 5 minutes, and hopefully they get scheduled in your calendar the next Monday, and they walk through the door and bam, you've got a new customer. That has been the missing link that we've had forever. We can build great Google ads. We can make sure all of those Google searches are being seen, you know, and they're seeing your message and they're seeing your gym. We can do all of that. It's the connection between that ad and walking through the door has always been what's happening at the front desk. And I don't care how great your front desk is, it's not going to be as relentless and as good, and I think this really, really does fill a little hole. So hopefully that was useful to you guys. If you do want to chat with me, just reach out. I'm happy to sit down. I love this stuff. We'll talk about anything. My next presentation is about unsticking gyms and solving staffing issues and making loads of money. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. Thank you. Hey.
I have to get to a carpool, but I'm very
Yeah, that's all right.
speaking with you.
Sure. Did you get my cell phone?
I did.
Okay. Just text
Joe.
me. Hey, nice to meet you, Joe. Yeah, just text me if you wanna sit down and chat, or if you just want to talk on the phone. We can do that. whatever you want.
We're in a great position to do something like this.
Yep.
We have great staff. We have capacity, I think, to go to 1,500.
Okay.
We're like at 800 students. Yeah.
Where are you?
We're in Concord.
Okay. So it's decent population base.
Yeah. No, we do zero marketing.
You've done wonderful then. So if you do marketing,
That's what I'm saying.
here's the thing that marketing does, right? It's not just about bringing you new kids. What I want to, and my next lecture that I invite you to come to personally, is about you charging more money.
I think we're already okay with that.
Maybe. If you're not doing marketing, I bet you're not
But I'd be
maximizing.
happy to go over that
Yeah.
with you. And
Yep.
the other reason why we're such a good position right now is because, the summer doldrums, we have our average class size is like 50% capacity. So we have a lot of space to bring in
Nice.
people quick.
Nice.
Anyways.
Yep. No, let's do it.
Yeah,
we can
all right.
chat.
I'll give
I'm
you
happy
a
to
call.
chat.
When would you be available?
Just text, and I'm pretty available now. Just yeah.
Text and you'll get his AI response.
Yeah.
Set up an appointment.
Yeah, my AI is not connected to that phone number, unfortunately.
This sounds super
Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't give the. Hey, excuse me. Did anybody want the cell phone number to
Oh, yeah.
try?
Oh, Becky?
Yeah. All right, let me grab that.
Trying to give everybody your phone number?
I did give everyone my phone number. I want to see what happens.